And the first disc that I want to show you was mainly Bob Giulio at Discraft's idea.
Okay.
Also a little bit of my idea. I wanted to capture a young, ripe Paul Ulibarri, and then I wanted to capture a later Paul Ulibarri.
Yeah.
So this is the first disc.
Oh my gosh, of course.
This is the first disc that we're playing with.
That's the classic photo.
It's a 1 of 1. It's yours now.
Thank you.
What do you think?
I mean, when I first look at it, it's incredible to be able to go back and think of all the stuff that's happened and started with this kid.
We're gonna throw this, and I actually, while we throw this, if you were to describe this kid to someone else with what you know now, how would you describe this kid?
I mean, I think one of the things that comes to mind is like, he was fearless, you know? He wasn't afraid of the challenge, sorry about that, of the challenge of whatever was in front of him. I remember I was really determined when I was that age. With whatever I did, I thought that I was just gonna be good. And I feel like it would be intimidating for a lot of people to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go take off, never been out of my home state, and you know, go pursue Frisbee golf. And I remember just being like, yeah, this is gonna be easy type thing. So I think fearless would be like what he was. He's fun. He always had a lot of fun. I don't know. Such a long time ago. I would like to think that I didn't change much, honestly. Maybe he became a little bit nicer and more mature, but.
Did you not think it was crazy going and trying to be a pro disc golfer, especially back when there was like little to no like big money in it?
No, I didn't, and I think that's part of the reason why I became successful at it is I didn't really care. You know, I was just like, no, it's gonna work. You know, I've always had like a silly belief that whatever I did was gonna be good. You know, kind of dumb luck maybe to go along with it, but I still hold a lot of those things. You know, it's actually funny, I was thinking about it a couple days ago, and I remember a feeling that I would get when I was that age, that I just had like this crazy confidence that I could be better than anybody at anything I did. And it was a real feeling, you know? And I lost the feeling for a long time. But remembering this guy helps me bring that back sometimes. And I mean, it's a big part of who I am, really.
You, in videos that I've seen from like way back, you and Nico seem to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Talk about who he was at the same time you were that kid.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I first started, I wasn't that good compared to like a few other people, and Nico was one of them. And so he was one of the only people my age that was better than me. And so I latched on right away because I didn't think that was possible, for one, and he was just such a fiery competitor that I loved competing against him, you know? Like, and I don't think that he's really changed that much either, as far as that goes. I think we learned a lot from each other, mostly me playing against him, because I mean, a couple years later, he won the Memorial in the Open, and he ended up winning Player of the Year like 4 times. And I remember looking at his game and really picking it apart and being like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. And he really helped me kind of develop a lot of my game that I have today. But Nico is, you know, we were best buds for a long time at that point in time. He came to Arizona and we lived pretty close to each other. We played every day together. And I remember just being like, all right, this is the guy that I'm gonna have to beat, you know?
Mm-hmm. What were the talks back then with like young touring pros when being a touring pro didn't get you a card It didn't get you any recognition.
Yeah.
It was kind of the dirtbag lifestyle, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Like, what were the talks about? Were they really optimistic? Like, oh, we know disc golf's going big time. Like, we're gonna make it happen. Or was it just a day-to-day, like, we're just trying to make enough money to survive?
Yeah, I think it was just like a stay in the moment type thing. Like whatever we had at that time, we just did. Like if I didn't have money for gas, I'd go sell a couple discs at the park, or just, you know, we would go, at least I would go scrape around Fountain Hills and try to find some discs that I could sell to spinners or whatever. At no point was it not fun to me. Like even when I had like $5 at one point, it was still a blast and I was never worried.
Fast forward a little bit, you and I toured together for a little bit.
Yeah.
For a little bit before you tore your ACL. And I know that point in your life was like all over the place.
It was
There's
crazy.
so many things you were figuring out. But what did you actually think about me when we were first touring together? When we first got in that RV